Welcome to our Eurofase webinar. So glad you could be with us today. Good morning, my name is Tammy and I'd like to welcome you. As I mentioned, we are going to cover some of the Eurofase product that was released in 2020, just some highlights from the summer release, and we'll also cover the full release from January of 2021. Just a few quick notes. First of all, if you have any questions throughout the webinar, feel free to pop in at any time and ask those. The pricing that we're using today is based on IMAP, but always refer to your price sheets for the most accurate pricing. As I mentioned, we're covering some highlights from summer 2020 and full summer 2020 and full January 2021. I also just want to mention, if you don't use the Eurofase website, they have a beautiful website. You'll always have the most accurate product line and availability, spec sheets, images, and things like that. Also, the new Luce catalog is available on the website. You should be receiving yours shortly if you haven't received it yet. I know it is shipping, so that's a really nice, exciting new catalog that is available. Will serve us all very well. So let's jump into some of the highlights from summer of 2020. We're going to start with the Pharaoh. This series was inspired by a shadow box wall art. There's multiple cubes that are outlined by that painted black or gold frames, and they're positioned really in dimensional patterns and are illuminated by LED panels. So it really creates a very dramatic visual effect. Next, we're going to touch on the Torna. This honestly is one of my favorites in its simplicity. It really combines the warmth of candles with the practicality of LED lights. So it's a very modern take on a very traditional classic candelabra style. It will certainly add a lot of ample light and a touch of historic allure to your space. This is available in the gold and in the brass that you see here. Kind of along those same lines, again, we have the Campisi. 3 different finishes here. You have the brass, the black, and also the nickel. But that update to using a clear glass shade that just kind of feels suspended in air is just lovely. I also think by changing out the lamping in this piece, you could create a completely different effect using maybe a G16.5. So a lot of fun to be had with this piece. Next, we have the Metallo, kind of a mid-century contemporary style meets vintage, almost rustic, with a little bit of a medieval influence as well. You could use clear or frosted incandescent bulbs to create more depth in the background tone colors. They're just beautiful on this one. Next, we have a line extension that was added in the summer to Bloomfield, and now it is available in the black finish, kind of resembling armored chainmail, but on a much more refined way. The plated mesh really envelopes each light, adding a soft, shimmering glow. As I mentioned, available in black and gold, and it even includes a large chandelier at 73 inches, so a wide variety of options for you here. This is the piece that when you have it on display, every single customer will touch. It's just so tactile. That beautiful chain hanging there is hard to resist. Next, we have the Pemberton. This is added in an oval shape back in the summer. This has been a successful series. I think it was released in January of 2020 originally. This particular piece is convertible to a semi-flush, so that's always good to know. I actually have this one hanging in my foyer, and I just love it. The light it puts out is amazing. And almost through our summer 2020 release, but Nottingham, they added the addition of a 5 and a 6 light chandelier. This one has that beautiful brass band that encircles that cognac glass orb. They get their beautiful amber color because there are minerals that are added during the glass making process that really help give it that beautiful look. It reflects a really warm glow from the vintage lamps that come with the fixture itself. And lastly, we're just going to touch on the Admiral. They added a wall sconce to this collection in the summer. This is integrated LED, and it really beautifully radiates that LED light, highlighting the rich brass that it has. There's decorative gold rivets, and then it is beautifully highlighted with that dark perforated lens that they're using. This is also not shown here, but available in a whole array of different shapes and configurations. There's circular chandeliers, the rectangle that you see here, and linear, as well as the wall sconce. And the wall sconce can go horizontal or vertical. So now we're going to pop into the 2021 January introductions, and we will start with the first step. This is an open cage design, obviously very whisk inspired, if you ask me. Perfectly matches a wide range of decors. This is suspended hanging ball chain that just can freely float. So again, very touchable in your showroom. It adds a little bit of movement to the design as well. And this is available in the gold and the black in 2 different sizes. Actually, 3 different sizes, I'm sorry. Next, we have the Natalia. Very elegant, sophisticated design. It's featuring those baskets of ridged optic crystal. It will refract the light just beautifully and showcase a very unique pattern on the wall in your showroom or in the bathroom. I like how the arching arms kind of soften the hard angles of that beautiful crystal. Next, we have the Rover. I think this was a great addition. They added 2 flush mounts. You'll see that one on the next slide as well. Great addition to help really fill out the line. This is a very simple squared framework, and it houses an opal glass disc, so it's a very clean design. I think it's very saleable and easy to display. I think it would turn for you very well. Just as an example, 15-inch version here, the total wattage is 32 watts, and it provides 2400 lumens, and their LED is at a 3000 K, 90 CRI, and these are dimmable. And on the bath bars, it's hard to tell on this image, but it's actually that flattened disc, just like you would see in the flush mount there. And here's the other flush mount I was speaking of, the Eurofase. Frosted glass really kind of sits securely in that matte black drum. Another superb addition to help Eurofase really complete their line to the consumer. This one at the 17.7 inch is 30 watts, 1620 lumens. And like I said, almost all of their LED in the decor line is 3000 K, 90 CRI, and dimmable. Next, we have the Pinello, really playful piece. It has those structured frosted acrylic panels on that linear framed, really in a symmetric yet asymmetric design that's balanced and creates a lot of visual intrigue on this one. Next, we have the Celeste, very simple dome shape. It's made of a natural woven rattan for very organic bohemian feel, or it might even complement a coastal decor. This is available in a cappuccino shade on black or the subtle white shade on a white frame. This also is a great extension to some of their more organic pieces that were released earlier. Polito, very classic design. This is a cream linen shade. Creates a very softened appearance on that, in contrast to the very clean line of that outer framework. I like how you have just a little bit of an angle on the shade, and it's available in nickel and in black and in a couple of different variations. Next, we have the Grotto unique collection. Features that flawless stamped metallic metal sheet that's surrounded by a clear glass panel. Really lends itself to a more soft industrial look very easily. Available in the 2 finishes and a couple of different sizes. Compound is really ideal for a lot of spaces. It's a very classic looking fixture. Features a matte black frame encircling that satin nickel as well. Very timeless, very transitional piece. Rika is that statement piece. I think if you put that 2-tier in your showroom, people will stop and stare. These are individual crystal prisms encircled with a slender laser cut polished ring. Really creates that tapered form for each shade. The light's going to refract beautifully through that crystal and then reflect off the polished finish, really making this a sparkling piece in your showroom or in your dining room. Next, on the opposite end, we have the Logan, very free form. There's no adornment on it. It's kind of an open book looking design. Provides a lot of illumination in a very simple shape, but a very strong statement still. And this is available in 2 finishes. Next, we have the Tenda. I won't lie, this one had to grow on me a little bit, but now I really, really love it. Really an example of graceful artistry in lighting. A beautiful combination of a very clean line and soft curves, lending itself to kind of a wide design aesthetic. It's draped from that LED panel with very dainty links of metal chain that really create that graceful line that's going to capture and reflect light, making this really a stunning piece for display, especially if you want that just strong aesthetic statement. Next, we have the Santoro. This is an opal white glass that kind of extends through that hollowed out drum. You can see it a little bit more easily on the side view on the left. This can mount horizontally or vertically. It's available in 3 finishes and 2 sizes. Another statement piece with the barletta. Each individually suspended anodized rods holds that elegant, clear, seated glass orb, kind of creating chimes of light suspended from the ceiling. That polished glass sphere is going to glow with your LED, really creating a lot of light play wherever it's placed. A lot of different options for this one as well. And a nice companion piece to that is the Circolo. This is seated glass orbs on that just very simple ring, provides a ton of light and adds a little bit of texture by using that seated glass on that very simple form. I think I skipped one. There we go. Bordeaux. This is very modern open frame, integrated LED. It's taking those 3 rectangles and kind of setting them off balance to create a very bold visual, very geometric. Next, we have the Giro. Their halos are stacked and layered here to really create that whimsical arrangement, perfect for a minimalist style. The black aluminum frame really contrasts well with the white lens, kind of immediately draws your eye to the piece. A couple of different configurations here as well. Next, we have the cross sleeve. This is complemented by that polished chrome housing. It's a roll of textured cast cylindrical crystal glass, and it's illuminated by LED from within. A bunch of different applications here with the wall sconce, the linear, and the hanging piece. The Fillmore is a line extension from last January, actually. We added the wall sconce here, which I think was a great option. The Fillmore is really kind of a sophisticated piece with that curved band, and it has a textured ice glass orb. Sometimes that's hard to see on the slides, but beautiful in person. Another line extension was to the Paget. Still featuring that beautiful piastre glass using the techniques that date way back to the 13th century. Here we have the multiple layers of that monochrome sugar glass that are rippled. Then they're encased in a clear glass plate, and they're all handmade, so every single piece is going to be a one-of-a-kind work of art, and no two will ever be exactly the same. There are multiple sizes and now finishes available in this one. Very eclectic family. They added the chrome here. Next is a Leonardelli. This was originally released in summer of 2020 in the chrome. Now we have added the black, really inspired by the celestial. There's dozens of small LED lights that are arranged to create the geometric shapes. They're at the end of those fine glossy rods. This gives it a very airy, light appearance, kind of like it's just floating in air. And I think the interesting part with this one too, no matter what angle you look at it, it will look a little bit different. Now we have the rider. This is the multifaceted ice crystal sphere fastened by that center ring. Again, you're going to get some really pretty light play. You can see a little bit about how the light is coming through that glass orb onto the back plates there. And we've extended this into the black. There are 2 mirror releases for you that will kind of wrap up today's webinar. The first one is framed in your choice of black, gold, or aluminum. These are all 90 CRI with an option of 3,000, 4,500, or 6,000 Kelvin. These are dimmable as well. There's a wall mount and then the freestanding or wall mount based on size. The wall mount only is a little bit smaller. The wall mount only is going to provide 3,200 lumens, and the freestanding / wall, a little bit larger one, is at 2,800 lumens. We also have this extension into mirrors, very modern, clean looking line, really beautiful, equipped with a touch sensor switch, and then you have your CCT options and dimmable options as well. Gold, black, and aluminum finishes on this. And as I mentioned, CRI is 90. We're back to that 3,000, 4,500, and 6,000 Kelvin. The small is going to be 2,400 lumens. The medium size will be 3,200 lumens, and the large will be 4,600 lumens. I did want to just also mention the MSP program is still available for this year. So please ask any of us about details on if you are looking to bring anything in for display. It's a great way to really bring some benefits to your business. Otherwise, thank you. If there's any questions, just let me know. Otherwise, we have same login every week. So hopefully we will see you next week at 8 o'clock as well. I think we will be talking about Fanimation fans. Well, if there's no questions, thank you so much. We will see you next week.